So Elon Musk and the SEC finally agree, I think. I was looking at the information a little bit. Now, mind you, we don't know all the full specs yet, and I think this is one of those things I'm kind of sick and tired of it. I think majority of the people are sick and tired of it. Nobody really wants to hear about Elon Musk and the SEC any more than they have to. And the truth is, I love the idea that, you know, the judge sat these two down and said, you know, guys, you have to figure this out. Now, for me, I don't have much respect for, you know, companies who don't look at everything, and I don't have much respect for regulators who don't look at everything. I think Elon Musk in some ways has gone out of line to a degree. I think telling the world that, you know, he has no respect for the SEC, that definitely is something that was out of line. But I can see his frustration. There's a lot of information being spread by short sellers that is completely and utterly false. And ultimately, this is where the FCC should be stepping in and going after the short sellers as well. Misinformation, regardless if it's Tesla doing it or someone else that can gain or move the market, is something that the SEC should be concentrating on. I'd like to see a more fair treatment of this whole scenario. It's not fair for the SEC to say, well, Elon Musk made this comment, hence he moved the market, when you have short sellers literally doing the exact same thing and getting a slap on the wrist at best case scenario. I'd like to see this kind of stuff moving around a little bit more, and I'd like to see punishments for anybody and everybody who gains by simply misinforming the public. Short sellers have very much have misinformed the public, and they've moved the market in very big ways. This should be something that the SEC should have concentrated on as well. Having them come strictly after Tesla just doesn't make sense to me. I understand that Tesla disrupted the market, disrupted the entire car industry for that matter. I know that Tesla does things different, but when you have the short sellers, which literally rely on these stocks doing what they're doing right now, it's pretty darn bad when they are not getting punished. They need to be punished just as much as Elon Musk is. Now, in all fairness, I think Elon Musk got away with a lot of things here. And I think the SEC, I'm not blaming the SEC for anything they've done. In the real world, I think they're doing a pretty decent job. You know, we are all Tesla fans, so we kind of take it personally, but I think the SEC did a pretty good job on trying to keep, you know, Elon Musk in control of himself. He has made tweets that are pretty bad, and he has made tweets that are questionable. His timeline tweets are even worse. So I think when it's all said and done, I gotta see what's gonna happen here. By basically, from what I have read right now, the SEC and Tesla agreement, the previous agreement has been nullified, and the new agreement is much more specific in regards to what Elon Musk can and cannot post. So before he posts certain things, it must go to his lawyers and so forth and so on, and he has to get passed. Now, it's very similar to the previous one from what I can see. The biggest difference being is, well, now he's got certain things to follow through with that are more specific, and I guess you would say kind of like a guideline for what he can and cannot do at what point. With all that said, I don't know if Elon's going to respect it. I hope he does, for the sake of the company, for the sake of all of us, because we all love him. We want him to be part of Tesla, but he cannot be part of Tesla if he's going to, you know, ruin the system in a sense. I know he does things differently, and I know the SEC came down on him a little bit harder than they probably came down on a lot of people, but because he stands out, he brings attention to himself that is not necessarily a good thing. This is very important to note. You know, when you are Elon Musk, you are in the public eye, Everybody has something to say about you, and you have something to say to the public at large, which also includes your shareholders or anybody who's thinking of buying shares. And what you say is very, very important, because sometimes the smallest things can move the market. And I think that's what the SEC is really, really worried about. He can manipulate the market just by saying one sentence, sometimes saying one word. So I don't blame the SEC for what they're doing. I blame them for not having done the same thing to the short sellers, to the people who move the market just as much, or at least try to move the market just as much as Elon Musk. And what makes it even worse is, the short sellers are accusing Elon Musk of false information. But if you look it up, and I am not gonna tell you, I'm not gonna give you any examples. What I'm gonna ask you to do is look it up for yourself. Look at what the short sellers are saying. I can tell you, as a Tesla owner, it is incredibly silly to believe a lot of the things that are coming out of these guys' mouth. I'm not saying they don't have good points. They actually have good points, and I do like the criticism. For the short sellers, the one thing that I do like is the fact that their criticisms sometimes are right on, are spot on. It's something that a lot of us Tesla owners are concerned about, or we ourselves think the same thing. Many of us would not admit it, but we all know it may be true. I think ultimately the SEC needs to do the right thing here. And if you see that, this new agreement is going to work, or they believe the new agreement is going to work, they also have to take the time in consideration and go after everybody who moves the market, not just Elon Musk. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me on this? I'm pretty sure there's a number of you guys who will not agree. I'm sure some of you guys will agree. It's my opinion. It's strictly my thought. And as much as I love Tesla, I do not always agree with Elon's tactics. You can't. We can't all agree about everything. But I also don't agree with the SEC basically allowing, the movement of the market by misinformation, which unfortunately the short sellers are definitely doing. So with that said, let me know your comments, and I look forward to summertime, where I hope to be hitting 1,000 subscribers. So I definitely could use your support. With all that said, thank you very much for watching. Till next time, goodbye, and don't forget to drive safe always. Bye.